Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand about one more Kubernetes concept, replica sets. So, replica sets help us in achieving high availability and then reliability for our applications hosted on Kubernetes. In addition to that, it helps us to seamlessly scale our applications, and in combination with services and replica sets, we will also be able to achieve effective load balancing in Kubernetes. Finally, labels and selectors. So using labels and selectors, we will be able to tie all the replica sets, services and then pods together. With that said, a replica set's purpose is to maintain a stable set of replica pods running at any given point of time. So if our application crashes and any pod dies, example, if you see here, in a worker node, we have two pods and then one pod got died. So if that is the case, replica set will recreate the pod immediately to ensure the configured number of pods running at any given point of time. So we configure the number of replicas in our replica set. So if you say that always it need to have two replicas, then replica set will ensure that it is running with two pods at any point of time. So in this way, reliability and then high availability for all applications are achieved. The next thing is load balancing. So to avoid overloading of traffic to single pod, we can use load balancing. So Kubernetes provides pod load balancing out of the box using services for the pods which are part of the replica sets. So labels and selectors are the key items which ties all these things together: pods, replica sets and services. So we will know in detail about these labels and selectors when we are writing the YAML manifest in our upcoming lectures. So if you consider a Kubernetes cluster with two worker nodes, if you see, the replica set is spanned across two worker nodes and we have two pods in one worker node and then two pods in another worker node. And to access means like to access the applications hosted on these pods and then allow the effective load balancing, so we will have the services in middle. So services will distribute the traffic to this respective replica set and the pods present inside that. So with that said, in combination with replica set and services, we can achieve effective load balancing in Kubernetes. And the next thing is scaling. So when load becomes too much for our number of existing pods, Kubernetes enables us to easily scale up our applications, adding additional pods as needed. So this is going to be seamless and super quick. So let's consider a Kubernetes cluster with two worker nodes and you have one pod in each one, and then a service is load balancing the traffic to them. And all of a sudden you have a spike in your traffic. If that is the case, to scale, you have multiple options in Kubernetes. First thing is go ahead and then update your replica sets, number of replicas, and to the desired number how much we want, and then apply that. Or you can use kubectl scale to do that. Or you can even enable the horizontal pod autoscaler to autoscale the pods to achieve the or to support the amount of traffic spike at that point of time. Now let's go ahead and then implement the Kubernetes replica set demo. I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you. Welcome back. In this lecture, we are looking into the replica sets demo. So let's check into it. Okay. So we are in our Kubernetes fundamental 03 replica sets with kubectl section, and we completed the step 1 introduction just now, and then we are moving into the creating replica sets. So one important thing about replica set is we really don't have an imperative command to create a replica set. So we need to definitely define our YAML manifest. Okay. So here we are going to only look into whatever is required inside that in this YAML manifest, and then more than that, other things we are going to discuss when we are going to write the YAML once we learn the YAML fundamentals and then all those things. So for us, if you see here, API version is /apps v1 and the kind is replica set which we are going to create. Means like the object which we are going to create in Kubernetes is replica set. And the replica set name is my hello world rs. So that's the replica set name. And in addition to that, number of replicas means like number of pods it need to get created is 3 pods. Okay, forget about labels and these selectors and these labels, all these things, let's forget about it for now. We'll see when we are writing YAML definitions. Okay, so now replicas is 3 replicas, and the next is container spec, right? So name of the container is my hello world app, and my image is stack simplify / cube hello world 1.0.0. So this is the application. So let's go ahead and then create it using kubectl create, and then file name is replicaset-demo.yml. So let's go ahead and then create it now. So if you fork this respective directory, which is nothing but this Kubernetes fundamentals, fork and then download, or download this to your local repo, and you need to just go into 03 replica sets with kubectl, and you will find this replicaset-demo.yml file here, right? So I'll go into that now. So if you see here in Kubernetes fundamentals, I'm going to 03 replica sets, and I can find the file here. So I'm saying kubectl create -f and replicasets-demo.yml. My replica set is getting created. So now the next thing is to list the replica set, right? So you can say kubectl get replica set, and it will be listed my hello world rs. You can see here desired number of replicas are 3, whatever we have configured here, and current is 3, and then ready is 3. Okay, so now the alias for replica sets is kubectl get rs. Even you can use rs if you want to, right? So and the next thing is to describe the replica set. Kubectl describe and rs is alias of replica set, and my replica set name is my hello world rs. So let's describe the replica set, right? So now if you see in this replica set, so let's go here, and we can see all the information. Okay, so successfully created the replica set controller and it created 3 pods here. Okay, so for all the pods it doesn't have any issue in creating it. So now let's list the pods. So kubectl get pods. So now we have 3 pods, means like 3 replicas got created, my hello world rs and some dynamic name, right? So in the same way we can even list the pods with wide option, so that we know on which nodes these pods were scheduled. So on 118 we have 1 pod scheduled, and on 145 we have 2 pods scheduled. So in addition to that, if you want to verify the owner of the pod, right, so we can give the kubectl get pods and then pod name and then -o and then YAML. Get the YAML output, and inside that when you refer the owner references you will get those details. So kubectl get pods and then any one of the pod name. So we'll get the replica set as the owner. Right, so if you go up and we can see here, right, so owner references, we can see the name tag here, which is nothing but my hello world rs, which is nothing but the replica set. So in simple terms, to whom this pod belongs to is nothing but this pod belongs to that respective replica set, so that you can find using owner references. So now in our next step we'll focus on exposing this as a replica set as a service. I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you. Welcome back. In this lecture we are going to expose replica set as a service, so that we will be able to access the application present in replica set pods via browser. So let's go ahead and then do that now. So we are going to say kubectl expose replica set, which is nothing but rs, and the rs name, replica set name, and the type is going to be node port, and the rest all is going to be same. Port is the service port, which is cluster IP port, and the target port is nothing but the 8080, which is nothing but my application port, whatever it is running, my container port, cube hello world container port is 8080, and the name of the service is going to be my hello world RS service. So let's go ahead and then do this now. Right, so it's completed. So now let's go ahead and then get the service, right, and you have it as 30505, and get nodes -o y to get the public IP, and the public IP is this one, external IP, and the port is 30505, right? So let's go here and 30505/hello, and we got this. Okay, so let me make it bigger, and now if you want to refresh, and you can take the same URL and in new tab one more time access it, you see one more value here. Okay, and in one more time, and you can do one more time. So like this you can access, and then it will keep load balancing. So if you see here, it is D7HVK, here it is Z and BGW. So to which container it is going, that respective container's ID it is going to throw it here on the browser. So let's see what does that mean. Okay, so kubectl get pods. So you see it, right? The request went to Z and BGW container. Okay, so that's what it is showing here. And another request went to D7HVK. So and then you have this here. So like that, I have written a Spring Boot code, means like Java code, in my container, and then packaged it so that now whatever to which container it goes, that respective container ID you are going to see it here, just for fun. Okay, so nothing much inside that, but you need to access your application in this manner. Okay, so node1 public IP : node port whatever we have got, and then /hello. The context of this application is /hello because it is a hello world application. In our next step, what we are going to do is we are going to test the replica set's reliability or high availability. So what does this mean? So whenever a pod is accidentally terminated due to some application issue, replica set should auto create that pod to maintain the desired number of replicas. So that's what is replica set's reliability or high availability concept. So you have here 3 pods running, right? So and if you go ahead and then delete one pod, kubectl delete pod, and then delete one pod. So you are trying to simulate the accidental deletion. Okay, so automatically it should start creating one more pod. Replica set will create the pod immediately. So there is some connectivity issue, but we'll try one more time. Okay, so now the pod got deleted. So let's test this with kubectl get pods. So once we have deleted the pod, and now you see that the old 2 pods whatever are there is age of 27 minutes, but whatever you have deleted, and then replica set automatically created a new pod which is of 95 seconds. If we want, we can delete one more couple of pods one more time. Okay, kubectl delete pod, and then we'll also delete our D7HVK pod. Okay, so and then in that place replica set should create one more pod. So let's see that now. kubectl get pods. Now you can see that, so D7HVK is gone, and then you have got in that place 27.4 new pod, 16 seconds its age. So you can see the first one pod is from 28 minutes it is running, the other is from 2 minutes, and this is from 16 seconds. So what here replica set is doing is it is automatically creating the pods to ensure that the number of replicas whatever we have configured here, right? So it is trying to ensure that the number of replicas are going to be 3 always. So that's about the replica set reliability or high availability concept. So the next concept is replica set's scalability feature. So we can simply scale our replica set just by updating our spec here, right? So we can go into our spec, So let me go here, and this is my replica set, right? So, and then I will say here 6 replicas, right? And then save it, and then apply the change, which is nothing but kubectl replace and the same file. Okay, let me say clear and paste kubectl replace -f and the replica set demo.yml, and let's see what happens. So now our replica set got replaced. Kubectl get rs, the replica set we are going to see. Now you see the desired replicas are going to be 6, current is 6, and then ready is 6. So I'll say get pods, and then you should see 6 pods up and running here now, right? So that's about it. So from last 22 seconds we have 3 pods came up online automatically. So in this way you will be able to scale your replica set quickly by updating the number of replicas in your replica set demo.yml. So that's about it. And now the next thing is to delete the replica set in the service. So we are trying to clean up the stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and then it will get rs. So we'll get the replica set name kubectl delete rs, and we are going to say my hello world rs. The same way get svc, which is nothing but kubectl get services, and kubectl delete svc my hello world service. Once this is completed, you can say kubectl get all to see that whatever is present in your default namespace where you have worked. Other than Kubernetes default cluster IP stuff, no other thing is available. So this completes the replica set end-to-end whatever we have learned using imperative way. Just we have used only the YAML file for us because imperatively you cannot create a replica set object. Now one thing important here is like one pending concept is present in replica set, which is labels and selectors. So this is going to be a common concept for multiple Kubernetes concepts, okay, like pods, replica sets, deployments, and then services. Everywhere we are going to use labels and selectors. So we are going to cover it when we are writing equivalent YAML files there, so that we will understand in detail. With that said, in our next lecture, we'll start working on the deployment concept of Kubernetes. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.